The test at Phoenix isn't going as planned, and Legacy Motor Club is making some good moves. Let's talk about it. Coming up next. What is going on today, everybody? Hope you're doing good. All right, the test in Phoenix that is supposedly supposed to help the short track package, the road course package going forward, where they are testing several different things, like a different underbody for the car, a different aerodynamic underbody for the car, a shorter spoiler, and other things, as well as an exhaust for the street race and the LA Coliseum race. All of that is not quite going the way they wanted to. Let's get into it with this tweet from Bob Pockers. Said they didn't think the different underwing made much, if any, difference. They said the smaller spoiler worked good in single car runs, but not a huge impact in the group run. But it is the right direction, and they want even less and possibly even no spoiler. And there you see that 2.5-inch spoiler, not much there at all. So that, I think, is the right direction. Another thing to note here, of course, is also that one of the things to watch tomorrow will be the mufflers, which mean the exhaust extends much of the length of the car, impacts the heat inside of the car, and they do weigh 20 pounds a piece, and there are 2 per car, so that's adding 40 pounds. But to me, the problem seems to be twofold. First of all, we know more about aerodynamics now than we have ever known before. So no matter what you do, teams are going to go for that aero advantage, which is going to create dirty air. And the only way to get rid of maximum dirty air is to actually slow the cars down, which nobody wants to talk about. But there is a good way to slow the cars down. I'll get to that in just a minute. But let's take a look at what Matt Weaver had to say, and then see also from Bob Pockers the reaction from 2 of the drivers, Eric Jones and Christopher Bell. Drivers have kept on NASCAR about the short track and the road package throughout the winter. Again, everyone recognizes the rear clip was first and foremost, but the heavy braking tracks were not good. Cars stopped too good, tires are too wide, and grabbing a gear made driving off easy. And then, of course, here is Christopher Bell and Eric Jones giving their thoughts about the practice.
I don't know that it's the answer, but it's probably directionally right. There's some other stuff on the underbody that we need to get better, but I think it's the right way. So we'll see. I think we're going to try to go smaller tomorrow, but probably the right way.
I was really excited about the short spoiler during single car runs, and then whenever we got in traffic, I was very disappointed with the lack of difference between the short spoiler and the big spoiler.
So I want to touch on what Matt Weaver had to say there, because I think he is absolutely on point with what he was saying. And here's the deal. At the heavy braking tracks, where you wouldn't think of aerodynamics being a huge factor or whatever, or dirty air being a factor, the problem is the brakes are too big and the tires are too wide. Now, there are 2 ways to fix this, in my opinion. You can keep the brakes. That I don't think that's going to be as big a deal as people are thinking. But the easiest and best way to fix this is to make the tires skinnier, or you can do both and have a lot of tire fall off. So if the tires are falling off, if the car is skating around, if the tires are too skinny to take advantage of all those aerodynamics, if the tires are too skinny to take advantage of those big brakes, then you're going to have to actually drive the car. And I think that is going to be the absolute best solution for this, is to make a tire with a lot of tire fall off, because that's going to slow the cars down and make you have to drive it. And to make a skinnier tire, these tires are too wide right now, because the skinnier the tire is, the more you're going to have to drive that car, because you're just not going to have as much contact patch, and you can throw all the aerodynamics, you can throw all of the horsepower, you can throw all of the braking you want to at a skinny tire. It's not going to help it. So I think that is actually going to make for better racing. I think Matt Weaver hit the nail on the head there, and I've been thinking that for a long time. But even if you don't have the skinnier tires, tire fall off is going to get the same thing accomplished. It's just harder to get the tire fall off, in my opinion, as far as that goes. So I think a skinnier tire would actually be the best answer, but NASCAR doesn't care what I think. So there you go. Let me know your solution down below in the comments. All right, now on to Petty GMS. Legacy Motor Company. I was just getting used to saying Petty GMS. Now it's Legacy Motor Club, and I just said company. Legacy MC. Legacy. I'm just going to call them Legacy. Somebody said that in the comments on the live stream last night, so we're just going to start calling them Legacy. So, since they've rebranded as Legacy, of course, that was a big deal. They're bringing Jimmy Johnson into the fold. Now you have 2 7-time champions that are a part of this race team in Richard Petty and Jimmy Johnson. So that brings name cachet to it, even though they got rid of the Petty name. I'm going to stay silent on that one for now. But anyway, Legacy has brought in 2 champions, so you get name cachet there. But it's also the things they're doing sort of behind the scenes that not a lot of people are going to recognize. They've brought in Todd Gordon to be Jimmy Johnson's crew chief, and yes, Jimmy Johnson is only running select races, but also they're going to put other people in that car in that 84 sort of all-star effort for Legacy. And you've got, basically what you have is Todd Gordon, a championship crew chief at the NASCAR Cup Series level, running your R&D program, because that's exactly what these, like, make no mistake about it, that's exactly what these all-star cars are all about. Getting basically a free test in a race with a all-star driver. Okay, that is what it's all about, and it works out for NASCAR. So NASCAR is not going to put a stop to it because it brings eyes to the sport. So it's all the teams that are doing these all-star cars. Great move, really smart on their part. The other thing that they're doing sort of behind the scenes that I like, they re-signed Dave Ellens, and they're keeping that combination together of Eric Jones and Dave Ellens. Dave Ellens and Eric Jones immediately, right off the bat, hit it off, and they have had great results ever since. And Eric Jones himself was an absolute steal. To this day, I can't believe Toyota let him fall through the cracks of their pipeline, and I really can't believe that at the time, Richard Petty Motorsports was the one who picked up Eric Jones. Then it became Petty GMS and now Legacy. But what an absolute steal they got with Eric Jones, an absolute blue chip talent who was doing really well at Toyota, in my opinion. And now he's doing really well with Legacy in the Chevrolet camp. So they got an absolute steal there. So just look at all those moves that they're making. And then look at some comments that Maury Gallagher, the owner, basically the majority owner of Legacy, has made. He says, I'm not getting any younger. I want to win now. As recently as last season, they just bought a Hawkeye machine. So that was a big investment. So basically, Petty Motorsports had been running without a Hawkeye machine. That is the machine that they use to scan the cars in to make sure they get through tech. And what teams do with that is they scan the car in and see where they can get like sort of advantages that the Hawkeye is going to miss. So that's basically what that's all about. They had been going without that until last season, and they didn't even really have anybody to run it last season until sort of the end of the year. So basically, even all their results last year was without that machine. But that example right there I'm giving you, he's willing to invest money. He's ready to win now. I think Legacy is going to be one of those teams like Trackhouse that is going to continue to rise up and up and up, and they're on a great track. And he said he's closer to the end than the beginning, but I still have faith in this Legacy deal because I think when he either gets rid of the team or steps away from his role, I think his son, Spencer Gallagher, remember that guy? Spencer Gallagher used to race in the Xfinity Series up until 2018, and yes, I know why he left. We're not going to get into that. Spencer Gallagher, I'm pretty sure, is going to be the guy that takes over Legacy when Maury Gallagher steps away or whatever happens. So I think that they're going to be on stable foundation for a long, long time. I think Legacy is actually going to be one of the bigger teams going forward. That is one of my bold, you guys want to see some more bold predictions? I already did my 2 early predictions for 2023, but there you go. There's another bold prediction. That's all I got for you on this one. I'm actually going to make another video coming out after this one because there is a lot more to get to, but this is just what I wanted to cover on this one. So look for that second video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Feel free to subscribe down below. If you got a comment or anything like that, leave it down in the comment section, and thanks for your time. Peace.